welcome to my channel. My name is Paige. If you've never seen my face before, please consider subscribing before you leave. Also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. So today we are going to be talking about my 8th month of pregnancy. I am currently in the 9th month and I'm 37 weeks and a day as I'm filming this. But we are going to be talking about 8 months, which I think is 32 to 35 or something like that. And I'm trying my best to remember all the things that I want to document. Starting off with one thing that really picked up in that 8th month. It was something that I had been dealing with pretty much since like the 2nd trimester, was heartburn. Now I've had it, like I said, the majority of the time, and at first I was taking Tums, and Tums were working. I was doing the smoothie ones, and I even did a 2nd trimester and I did a 1st trimester. So if you are in the beginning stages of pregnancy and you want to know some must-have items that you need to get you through pregnancy, some essentials, I will highly recommend those videos. I will link them down below. But I recommended the smoothie Tums because the smoothie ones made it a little bit easier for me to tolerate, as far as they weren't so chalky and they were actually working. But then when that 8th month rolled around, y'all, my heartburn was on another level, like something ridiculous. And I already had heartburn or acid reflux or whatever, just a smidgen every once in a blue moon before I got pregnant. So I was kind of already, you know, like prepared for it, but nothing can prepare you for laying down at night and all of a sudden just feeling like you're drowning and like you're going to throw up and just so uncomfortable all of a sudden. Like, it would always happen on a Saturday night. We're laying in bed watching something and I'd be like, Cody, help me get up, because it just felt like everything was just like settling right here. And I don't sleep flat. I always sleep on an angle. I sleep on my pregnancy pillow, which is everything. Okay, I think I can contribute me being able to sleep. Like I said, I'm 9 months pregnant now and I haven't had too many problems with sleeping, and I think it's because of my pillow. I'm going to stay firm to that because I love that pillow. It keeps me comfortable. No matter which side I roll over on, I am comfortable. So I have that, and then I also have 3 pillows to help prop my head up so that I'm kind of at an angle so I don't have so much problems with heartburn. So if you're going to recommend that, don't even bother, because I already got that down. I have tried so many different like remedies, little remedies and stuff, and a lot of you guys have recommended them on our vlogs. But I ended up having to do a Zantac twice a day, so I take that in the morning and at night. And throughout the day, I also take Gaviscon, which is kind of like Tums because you chew it up, but it's totally different. The first time I ever tried it, I was like, oh God, I don't know about this, because it kind of foams, which makes sense as far as it like doing what it needs to do, like coating all the things, so you're not really, you know, so it kind of gives like a barrier so the food can't bother you. I still have heartburn even taking that. Taking the Zantac twice a day, taking that throughout the day only when necessary, especially for dinner, because that's like pretty much the heaviest thing that I eat all day long is supper. So before supper, I normally take like 2 Gaviscon to go ahead and get it in my system. And I thought it was cheese, then I thought it was maybe greasier food that triggers it. It's really hard to figure out what it is. Some people were saying it was, you know, acid in coffee. It's just pregnancy. It's literally, I think it all depends on her position, and depending on what she's pushing up against, it might be worse than other times. So I don't know, but that's one thing that was like crazy in that 8th month, and it's still going strong to the point that it makes you nauseous, and it kind of makes you think that you're getting morning sickness back, because I thought, oh my gosh, morning sickness is coming back, because I was told that your 1st and 3rd trimester were a lot similar, but I don't think that they are all that similar. The tiredness definitely did come back in that 8th month, but nesting became a real thing for me. Praise the Lord, because I was kind of worried that it wasn't, because it just didn't seem like it was anywhere in sight. But if you guys have been watching some of my other videos, you know I've been cleaning and organizing and getting stuff done. I cut grass the other day. I painted our front door. I cleaned up my office finally after months and months and months. So nesting has hit me and it's still here. But I do struggle with being super duper sleepy. And I can sit down in the vehicle, and as soon as I sit down, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I could go to sleep. Like, if I sit down, that's when I'm tired. No matter on the couch, if I sit down at the table, anywhere, I'm just like, yep, I'm sleepy. And I haven't had any issues with fluid, any swelling. I haven't had any of those issues. But stretch marks did come into play this month. They kind of started in that 7th month, but they really did pop up in the 8th month. And I really only have them, as you can see, on the bottom part, like, of my stomach, underneath my belly button. And my skin started itching, but I do not scratch it. I do not scratch it because I just feel like it's just going to irritate it even more. But this oil, I swear by. I want to say I mentioned it in my last pregnancy update. I'm going to mention it again because it helps restore your skin. It helps with any scarring and helps like age prevention. So you can put it on your face, which I do. I absolutely love it. I highly recommend it. I'll link it down below. Whether you're pregnant or not, highly recommend it. So I use that in the morning and at night. Or at least I try to use it in the morning. I definitely use it before I go to bed. And I think it's helped. I think it's helped a whole lot. I think maybe once my stomach shrinks back down, they won't be as noticeable. They're a little red right now, which makes sense because I mean my stomach's stretching, so they're angry. Something else that happened, and I don't remember exactly what week it was, but a pretty nice size chunk of my mucus plug came out. And I know I am that crazy pregnant woman that will look at that tissue every single time I wipe. I know some people probably don't, baby, but I've looked at it the entire time I've been pregnant. Well, technically, even when I'm not pregnant, I'm always looking just to make sure that, you know, you need to know what's going on. I had read about it, so I knew what to expect. And not everybody loses their mucus plug. Not everybody loses it all at one time. A lot of times it happens over time and you don't really notice it. So I had started noticing some like significant pieces, enough for me to notice it in, you know, when I was wiping, using the bathroom. But on this day, it was at least like that size on the tissue paper. And I'm like, but there was no blood, because they call it like the bloody show or something, was what I've been reading. There was no blood, it was just the mucus, but it was, I mean, obviously it was a pretty good size. But because there was no blood, but still, I'm just like, wait a minute. That's kind of a big deal. So I messaged the doctor and she's like, there was no blood, you're not contracting, everything's fine. That's normal for this time, so no big deal. I'm just like, okay. So if you're noticing that and you might see some blood, they say that either that means your labor could start right then, or it could still not start for a few weeks. I mean, so that's just another thing that's just kind of like up in the air. I feel like I finally started putting on some weight. I'm trying to look at my weight from in between those times. It looks like I gained about 2 or 3 pounds within the 8th month, which was pretty good. The doctor wanted me to gain about a ½ pound to a pound a week, and I finally started putting on some weight in that 8th month. And now that I'm in the 9th month, I'm slowing back down again, which hopefully I'll be able to update y'all in a 9-month update. I don't know how that's gonna go. But yeah, I haven't put on too much weight. Overall, this whole time it's been 14-ish pounds, which I am really proud of myself for. I didn't want to go crazy. I do have a smaller frame, so I definitely didn't want to, or you know, add even more. I was already working on my weight before I got pregnant. Then I got pregnant and I was not at the starting weight that I would have ideally wanted to be at when I got pregnant. But God knows all, He sees all, He knows what's best, so I'm not questioning it whatsoever. But He's really blessed me. I have not had a hard pregnancy at all. My body hasn't been like totally uncomfortable and in pain this whole time. And I think I can attribute that because I did not put on a bunch of weight. I think that plays a huge role in it. I feel like some women can't help it, and they're eating somewhat right, I guess, and are still putting on all that weight. That can totally suck, but I've tried to stay active. I'm not working out by no means. I wasn't working out right before. If it wasn't already a part of your routine, the doctors kind of didn't want you to start something new in pregnancy. So because it had been months since I had been to the gym, I didn't want to try and overdo it. So I do try to walk as much as possible. Obviously, if you're seeing my cleaning videos and stuff, you know that I'm constantly moving, and I try to go out and walk around the house a few times a day. If I go out, I try to walk. If I'm in Walmart, I try to walk as much as possible in Walmart. I'm just trying to walk, and I try to choose places where there's air conditioning so I don't pass slam out. And I have water on me at all times. I stay hydrated. That's pretty much all I drink. I'll have one like small coffee throughout the day, and literally all I have is water and milk. And the milk is one of those things that does kind of help with the heartburn I was talking about earlier. But I mean, at this point, there's really nothing to get rid of it other than getting her out. Once she's out, I think the heartburn will just figure itself out, and that'll be great. I do feel like maybe the baby dropped some, because one night in that 8-month period, I felt like I just could not breathe. I was sitting on the couch. I'd been sitting there for about 30 minutes to an hour, so it wasn't because I had been running around, but it was like almost like the wind had been knocked out of me, and I'm just so uncomfortable, and I had no idea what it was. So I'm thinking it was her positioning, and then shortly after that, like a week or so, I felt like I could breathe a little bit better. So I definitely think that maybe she dropped some towards the end of that 8th month, like going into the 9-month period. Something else that happened is I was already having heart palpitations in that 8th month. They kind of picked up, and I don't know if it's just the stress of being a first-time mom or trying to get everything done before she gets here because it's getting closer. I don't know if that was it, but it was like my heart would race for no reason. And obviously in like stressful situations it makes sense, but I had to start wearing my Apple Watch and keeping an eye on it. My doctor the doctor I seen that day was kind of trying to get me to go to like a cardiothoracic something or another to wear a heart monitor, and I'm just like, no, that's too extra. We ain't going there. We are not doing that. So she checked my pulse that day to see if it was racing, and it wasn't. So I said, how about I just wear the watch? I keep an eye on it because my watch literally tracks it all throughout the day, and I'm able to go back and look to see if there were any spots that it was like extremely high for no reason. And there wasn't, so there was no need for me to tell the doctor again, and it kind of slowed down now. But boy, that 8th month, I was all over the place. I just didn't know what it was, and I would be laying in bed totally chill watching TV, and all of a sudden I would just feel anxious, like super anxious, like I couldn't calm myself down. And I don't know if it's anxiety or what, but I just take a few deep breaths and try to get as comfortable as possible and not think about anything. So I think maybe it was anxiety and just a few other things. Has anybody else dealt with that during pregnancy? Let me know. Leave me a comment down below so that I know that I'm not alone in that. Well guys, that is it for the 8th month pregnancy update. Cannot believe I'm already 9 months and we're already pretty much halfway done in the 9 months. I cannot believe that. It is blowing me out of the water. But I hope I'm able to do a 9-month pregnancy update. If I end up having to be induced, which is a whole nother thing that I'll talk about in the next update, I will make sure to film this before all that happens so that I can document all the things and keep up with this journey. It's been so crazy, such a blessing, and filled with so many different emotions that I cannot even begin to categorize if I tried. But thank y'all for not only being super sweet and supportive throughout this, but just being a listening ear and motivating me when I needed it. I appreciate y'all more than you will ever know. If you're new and you've never seen my face before, like I said, make sure to subscribe for future content, especially birth vlogs, nursery tour, meeting our baby, bringing our baby home, all the things. Subscribe so you don't miss all of that. And I will see y'all in the next one. Have a beautiful and blessed day, y'all. Bye.